What if the first alien we meet is not a monster, not a genius, not even an animal, but a microbe hidden under kilometers of ice? And what if, somewhere else in the galaxy, there are beings so advanced that they use the energy of entire stars, or even entire galaxies? Today we are going to explore 30 types of aliens we might realistically encounter, from the simplest possible extraterrestrial life forms to the most advanced civilizations physics allows us to imagine. This is not just science fiction. This is a guided journey through astrobiology, evolution, planetary science, and the Kardashev scale, the framework scientists use to think about how technologically advanced a civilization could become. And by the end of this video, you'll see something important. The question is not just, are aliens real? It's also, what kind of aliens are even possible? Let's begin at the smallest scale, because the first alien we find probably won't be looking back at us. It may not even have eyes. Section 1. The most likely first contact. Microbes. Before we talk about spaceships and galactic empires, we need to start with the most probable answer to the alien question: microbial life. Why? Because on Earth, life spent most of its history as single-celled organisms. Complex animals are late arrivals. Intelligence is even later. Technology is brand new. So if life appears elsewhere, statistically, microbes may be the rule, and civilizations the rare exception. Today's list has 30 types, and will move from the most plausible to the most extreme. Type 1. Subsurface ocean microbes. Imagine a dark ocean buried beneath ice. No sunlight, no forests, no surface ecosystems. Just liquid water, minerals, chemistry, and time. This is why worlds like Europa and Enceladus are so exciting. They may have underground oceans in contact with rock, which means chemical reactions could provide energy, just like hydrothermal vent ecosystems on Earth. If life exists there, the first aliens we encounter may be microscopic cells feeding on chemical gradients near warm seafloor vents. They wouldn't need sunlight. They wouldn't need oxygen. They would live in total darkness and still be alive. If we ever drill through alien ice and find even one cell, it would instantly become one of the biggest discoveries in human history. Type 2. Thermophilic aliens, heat-loving microbes. On Earth, some microbes thrive in near-boiling environments: hot springs, volcanic systems, hydrothermal vents. These are called thermophiles. That matters because many alien worlds may be geologically active. Volcanic planets, tidally heated moons, and underground vent systems could all favor heat-loving life. A thermophilic alien microbe might treat temperatures that would kill us instantly as perfectly normal. Its proteins, membranes, and enzymes would be built for heat stability. To us, those environments look hellish. To them, they would feel like home. Type 3. Psychrophilic aliens, cold-loving microbes. Now go the other direction. Extreme cold, ice crusts, frozen regolith, sub-zero brines, permafrost. On Earth, psychrophiles survive and reproduce in very cold environments, even in deep ice and polar ecosystems. Alien psychrophiles could exist on Mars, icy moons, or rogue planets drifting without a star. Their metabolism might be painfully slow compared to ours. They may divide once in weeks, months, maybe longer. But if they metabolize, reproduce, and evolve, they are alive. And they remind us that life does not need comfort. It needs opportunity. Type 4. Acidophile aliens. Some Earth microbes live in highly acidic environments, including acid mine drainage and sulfur-rich geothermal pools. So imagine an alien world with acidic lakes or corrosive clouds. Could life exist there? Possibly, if chemistry allows stable structures and energy pathways. Acidophile aliens would need powerful mechanisms to protect their internal chemistry from being destroyed by the outside environment. They might live in places we would classify as chemically impossible for biology. And yet, Earth has already taught us this lesson many times. Nature is more adaptable than human intuition. Type 5. Alkalophile aliens. Now flip the chemistry again. Instead of acid, imagine highly alkaline environments, like soda lakes on Earth, but on a planetary scale. Alkalophile aliens would have membranes and molecular machinery adapted to high pH conditions. Why include this as a separate type? Because when we say alien, we often imagine shapes: tall, grey, insectoid, aquatic. But the first major difference may be invisible. Their biochemistry may be adapted to a completely different chemical baseline. Even if alien cells look microbial, their internal rules could be profoundly different from ours.
Type 6. Halophile aliens. Salt-loving microbes.
Salt is everywhere in planetary science. Brines on Mars, salty oceans under ice, evaporated mineral deposits on dry worlds. On Earth, halophiles thrive in hypersaline environments that would dehydrate most life. Alien halophiles might inhabit salty subsurface reservoirs or temporary brine films. If Mars still has transient liquid brines underground, halophile-like life is one of the most plausible biological models. These organisms would be masters of osmotic balance, experts at surviving dehydration and ionic stress. In other words, tiny chemists in alien saltwater. Type 7. Barophile aliens. High-pressure life. Pressure changes everything. Deep oceans on alien worlds may be far deeper than Earth's. Subsurface seas beneath thick ice shells may exist under crushing pressure. On Earth, barophiles, or piezophiles, can thrive under immense pressure in deep ocean trenches. Alien barophiles could dominate worlds where surface conditions are hostile, but deep liquid layers exist. If intelligent life ever evolves in such environments, it may never see the sky. Its ancestors would come from darkness, pressure, and chemistry, not sunlight and open air. That alone could shape an entirely different path of evolution. Type 8. Xerophile aliens. Dry world survivors. Dry planets are common candidates in astrobiology. Think deserts, thin atmospheres, intense radiation, and almost no stable surface water. On Earth, xerophiles survive extreme dryness by protecting their cells, reducing metabolism, and waiting out harsh conditions. Alien xerophiles might spend most of their lives dormant. They could wake up only during rare events, seasonal melting, brief humidity spikes, or geothermal releases. Imagine a world that looks dead for centuries, and then suddenly blooms with microbial activity for 3 days. That is the kind of biology we may miss if we only search once. Type 9. Radiophile aliens. Radiation-resistant life. Radiation is one of the biggest challenges for life on worlds without strong atmospheres or magnetic shields. But on Earth, some microbes can survive extraordinary radiation exposure thanks to remarkable DNA repair systems and protective chemistry. Alien radiophiles could inhabit exposed surfaces, shallow subsurface layers, or high radiation environments near active stars. They might use pigments as radiation shields. They might repair damage faster than it accumulates. They might even use radiation indirectly as part of their ecological niche. To humans, radiation is mostly a threat. To some hypothetical aliens, it may just be weather. Type 10. Polyextremophile aliens. The real champions. Here is where it gets more realistic. Most alien environments won't be extreme in only one way. They may be cold and salty, dry and radioactive, high pressure and chemically hostile. That is why one of the most plausible alien categories is the polyextremophile, life adapted to multiple extremes at once. This is probably closer to what real extraterrestrial microbes would look like. Not one weird trick organisms, but deeply resilient systems shaped by layered stress. And if we do find alien microbes first, there is a good chance they will belong here. So that's our first 10 types, mostly microbial, mostly invisible, and honestly, probably the most likely. But what if life gets more complex? What if ecosystems emerge? What if evolution has millions or billions of years to experiment? Now things get more interesting. Section 2. Complex alien ecosystems and macroscopic life. Let's move into types 11 through 20. Larger organisms, strange ecologies, and life forms that begin to look more alien in the way most people imagine. But we're still staying grounded in physics and biology. No magic, just possibility. Type 11. Chemosynthetic vent ecosystem builders. On Earth, hydrothermal vent systems host entire ecosystems powered not by sunlight, but by chemistry. Bacteria use chemical energy. Larger organisms feed on them. Whole food webs emerge in darkness. Now scale that up on an ocean world. You could have alien ecosystems around seafloor vents with microbial mats, tube-like grazers, filter feeders, predators, and scavengers. No sky, no day-night cycle, no photosynthesis. Just chemical energy flowing out of a planet's interior. If life begins in such an environment, complexity can emerge without ever touching sunlight. That changes how we think about habitable worlds. A planet does not need to look like Earth's surface to host a rich biosphere.
Type 12. Alien plants. Under red dwarf stars. Now let's talk about photosynthesis, but not Earth-style photosynthesis. On Earth, plants are green because chlorophyll reflects green light and absorbs mostly red and blue. But on exoplanets, the color of available light depends on the star and the atmosphere. Around red dwarf stars, the surface light spectrum could be very different, with more energy available in different wavelengths, including the near-infrared. So alien photosynthetic organisms might not be green at all. They could be black, dark purple, deep red, or combinations we don't see in Earth forests. Imagine standing on another world and seeing a black forest under a dim red sun. That is not fantasy art. That is a real scientific possibility. And it means that when we search for biosignatures, we cannot assume alien life will look Earth-like from orbit. Even life's colors may be alien. Type 13. Floating plankton. Seas on ocean worlds. Some exoplanets may be global oceans, water worlds with little or no exposed land. In such places, vast planktonic ecosystems could dominate. Think of a planet-scale ocean biosphere filled with drifting life. Photosynthetic surface organisms, mid-water grazers, gelatinous predators, and deep chemical feeders. Without continents, nutrients cycle differently. Without land plants, atmospheric chemistry evolves differently. Without fire, technology becomes harder. But biologically, these worlds could still be spectacularly alive. If we ever detect atmospheric gases that strongly suggest ocean biology, this type of world may be one of the first candidates. And if intelligence evolves there, it may stay in the sea forever. We'll come back to that. Type 14. Burrowing lithotroph macro life. Lithotrophs are organisms that use inorganic compounds for energy. On Earth, many microbes do this. But on alien worlds, long-term evolution could produce larger organisms that live in porous rock, cave networks, or subsurface fracture systems, feeding on mineral gradients. Picture worm-like or root-like life forms slowly mining chemistry from stone. No leaves, no eyes, no obvious animal behavior. Just slow, persistent geobiology. This type would be extremely hard to detect remotely. From orbit, the planet could look dead. Under the surface, it could be full of life. Type 15. Low-gravity giants. On a low-gravity world with a dense atmosphere, evolution gets weird fast. Creatures could become enormous without collapsing under their own weight. Limbs could be long and delicate. Flight or gliding could be common. Structures that would be impossible on Earth might be perfectly stable. Imagine airborne organisms with giant membrane sails, towering herbivores with fragile-looking frames, predators that leap like projectiles. Low gravity changes biomechanics, posture, circulation, and locomotion. If aliens look impossibly elegant to us, low gravity might be the reason. Type 16. High-gravity compact fauna. Now the opposite. On a super-Earth with high gravity, life may trend toward compact, sturdy forms. Tall bodies become expensive. Thin limbs become risky. Jumping becomes inefficient. High-gravity aliens may evolve as low, muscular crawlers, multi-limbed braced walkers, or heavily supported body plans. Even intelligent species on such a world might be physically small and robust. Their architecture, vehicles, and engineering would reflect constant gravitational cost. A high-gravity civilization might become technologically advanced while looking nothing like the tall humanoid alien stereotype. Type 17. Atmosphere floaters. Gas giant life, Part 1. This is one of the most fascinating speculative ideas in planetary science. Could life exist in the atmosphere of a gas giant? Not on a surface, because there may be no solid surface at habitable conditions, but within a stable atmospheric layer. In classic scientific speculation, one category is the floater, a buoyant organism that remains suspended in an atmospheric band where temperature and pressure are favorable. It could be balloon-like, it could be filled with lighter gases, it could feed on smaller organisms or atmospheric chemistry. If such life evolved, the sky itself becomes the ocean. Cloud layers become ecosystems. Winds become migration routes. That is one of the most alien ecological settings we can plausibly imagine.
Type 18. Atmosphere sinkers and swarm life. Gas giant life, Part 2. Another speculative gas giant type is the sinker. Smaller organisms drifting downward through the atmosphere, reproducing along the way. Think of airborne plankton. They might rise through convection, sink through denser layers, and cycle through atmospheric currents as part of their life history. This creates a powerful idea. An atmosphere can support not just isolated life, but vertical ecosystems. Instead of forests and oceans, you have layers: upper photochemical zones, mid-atmosphere feeding zones, deeper danger zones. Alien ecology might be organized by altitude, not geography. Type 19. Atmosphere hunters. Gas giant life, Part 3. If floaters and sinkers exist, predators might evolve too. Call them hunters, chasers, trappers. The name doesn't matter. The biological logic does. Predation drives complexity. If motion, sensing, and pursuit become useful in an atmospheric ecosystem, you could get highly mobile aerial organisms adapted to navigating wind shear and density gradients. Their senses may be tuned to pressure, charge, chemistry, or turbulence, not vision alone. To us, they might look like drifting sky whales, living kites, or armored blimps. But in evolutionary terms, they would simply be what predators become in a world where down is survivable and the sky is habitat. Type 20. Hydrocarbon solvent life on Titan-like worlds. Now we leave water behind. Titan, Saturn's moon, has lakes and seas of liquid methane and ethane. That raises a wild question. Could life use a solvent other than water? Hydrocarbon-based solvent life would be chemically slow in cold temperatures, but not automatically impossible. Such organisms would need very different membranes, reaction pathways, and energy strategies. They might metabolize atmospheric compounds. They might use hydrogen gradients. They might grow incredibly slowly. To us, a Titan-like biosphere might seem almost frozen in time. But if chemistry cycles, selection happens, and information is inherited, evolution can still work. This type is speculative, yes, but it forces us to expand our definition of habitable environments. At this point, we have covered 20 types of aliens, and none of them required starships. Most of them don't even require intelligence. And that's the point. The universe could be full of life long before it is full of civilizations. But now let's cross the threshold people care about most. What happens when life becomes intelligent? What happens when it builds technology? What happens when it reaches for the stars? Section 3. Intelligent aliens and civilization paths. Welcome to types 21 through 30. This is where biology meets culture, engineering, strategy, and existential risk. And this is where the range of possibilities becomes enormous. Because once a species becomes technological, evolution is no longer only biological. It becomes cultural and technological too. Type 21. Oceanic intelligent aliens. Let's start with a hard truth. Intelligence does not guarantee technology. An ocean world may produce highly intelligent species, socially complex, language-capable, tool-using, but if they never have access to fire, smelting, or dry land industry, their path to advanced technology may be radically slowed or redirected. Could an aquatic species become intelligent? Absolutely. Could it build mathematics, art, memory systems, and even science? Very likely. Could it build radio transmitters underwater and launch satellites? That becomes much harder. So one possible alien type is a civilization-level intelligence trapped, or perhaps perfectly content, within a non-industrial environment. Brilliant minds, no metallurgy, no rockets. That possibility matters for one reason. The galaxy may contain many intelligences that never become detectable to us. Type 22. Hive mind, or distributed intelligence. Humans are one brain per body. That is not the only possible model. Some alien species may evolve distributed cognition. Colonial organisms, hive systems, or networked individuals whose intelligence emerges from the group. Think beyond insects. Imagine a species where no single individual is fully intelligent, but the colony is. Or a species with caste-based cognition. Some individuals sense, some process, some decide, some reproduce. Communication could be chemical, acoustic, visual, electrical, or even magnetic. If we encountered this kind of intelligence, we might initially fail to recognize where the mind actually is. We might interview one alien and think it's simple, not realizing the person is the entire swarm. Type 23. Tool users without industry. There may be alien species that use tools, build shelters, cooperate, and maintain culture, but never cross into large-scale energy civilization. Why? Because the path from intelligence to industry is not guaranteed. You need accessible materials, stable conditions, surplus energy, long-term social continuity, and often geographical luck. An alien species might remain at a sophisticated pre-industrial stage for millions of years and still be highly adapted and successful. They may produce philosophy, music, mythology, and social complexity without ever inventing engines. This is important because when people ask, "Where are the aliens?" they often assume intelligence automatically becomes spacefaring. That assumption may be wrong. Type 24. Nomadic planetary civilizations. Some worlds may be so dynamic or harsh that permanent cities are a bad strategy. On such planets, intelligent aliens may evolve as nomadic civilizations, highly mobile, technologically skilled, but decentralized. They might follow seasonal energy sources, migrating biological resources, or shifting habitable zones. Their technology may prioritize portability, resilience, and modular systems. Instead of giant monuments, they build adaptable infrastructures. Instead of permanent capitals, they operate distributed networks. If humans encountered them, we might underestimate them at first because we tend to associate advanced with massive fixed structures. But mobility can be a sign of intelligence too. Type 25. Machine-merged or post-biological aliens. Once a civilization becomes advanced, biology may stop being the final form. They may integrate neural interfaces, synthetic organs, cybernetics, and eventually full mind-machine integration. At some point, the distinction between biological alien and machine breaks down. A post-biological civilization may choose durability over flesh, computation over metabolism, robotic bodies over evolved anatomy. Why is this plausible? Because space is hostile. Radiation, vacuum, travel time, and energy efficiency all favor machine systems. So the first intelligent alien artifact we detect may not be a living pilot. It may be an ancient machine representative of a civilization that no longer exists in biological form, or one that evolved beyond biology on purpose. Section 4. The Kardashev scale, from planetary to galactic civilizations. Now we move into the final 5 types, the ones most associated with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. These are not species in the biological sense. They are energy-scale civilizations. This framework is called the Kardashev scale, and it classifies civilizations based on how much energy they can harness. And this is where alien possibilities become truly cosmic. Type 26. Type 0 civilizations, like us or near us. Technically, humanity is not yet a full Type 1 civilization. We are often described as somewhere below that, sometimes roughly around the high Type 0 range in popular discussions. What defines this stage? A civilization that uses large amounts of energy, but does not yet control the full energy resources of its home planet. This is a dangerous stage. Why? Because technology becomes powerful before wisdom necessarily catches up. Climate destabilization, war, ecological damage, and self-destruction all become plausible. So when we imagine alien civilizations, we should remember this. Many may never make it past Type 0. The great silence in the universe may be partly the silence of civilizations that failed here. Type 27. Type 1 civilizations, planetary civilizations. A Type 1 civilization harnesses and manages the energy resources of an entire planet. Not just fossil fuels, not just a few grids, planet-scale energy management. This could include global renewable systems, fusion, weather control, planetary engineering, large-scale desalination, climate regulation, and integrated infrastructure across continents and oceans. A true Type 1 civilization would likely be able to predict and manage major natural hazards, balance planetary ecosystems, and coordinate at civilizational scale. This does not mean it is morally perfect. It means it has reached a level where planetary energy and and planetary governance become inseparable. If we detect a Type 1 civilization, we may see signatures like night-side illumination, industrial atmospheric chemistry, planet-wide power use, or large-scale engineered surface changes. In other words, a planet that looks obviously inhabited from far away. Type 28. Type 2 civilizations. Stellar civilizations. Now we step up by an enormous margin. A Type 2 civilization harnesses the energy output of its star. This is where concepts like Dyson swarms enter the picture. Not necessarily a single solid shell, but a vast swarm of satellites, habitats, collectors, or computation platforms orbiting a star and harvesting its power. Why would a civilization do this? Because a star emits incomprehensible amounts of energy. If you can capture even a fraction of it, your capabilities explode. A Type 2 civilization might support trillions of inhabitants, vast simulations, planetary engineering across multiple worlds, interstellar launch systems, and megascale computation. From our perspective, a Type 2 civilization may be detected indirectly, not by a hello message, but by anomalies, unusual infrared waste heat, odd transit signatures, or stellar dimming patterns inconsistent with natural processes. A Type 2 civilization doesn't need to contact us to be visible. Its infrastructure may speak first. Type 29. Type 3 civilizations. Galactic civilizations. This is the upper end of the classic Kardashev scale. A Type 3 civilization controls energy on the scale of an entire galaxy. That means access to the output of vast numbers of stars across galactic distances. To reach this level, a civilization would need immense time, durable expansion strategies, interstellar logistics, and a way to remain coherent across staggering distances. A Type 3 civilization may not even resemble a civilization in the human sense. It could be a federation, a machine ecology, a self-replicating infrastructure web, or a loose network of cultures sharing protocols rather than centralized control. If Type 3 civilizations are common, the Fermi question becomes sharp. Why don't we see them clearly? Because a true galactic civilization should leave signatures. Engineering on stellar scales, unusual galactic energy distributions, or technosignatures so strong they stand out. The fact that we do not have confirmed evidence is one reason the alien question remains so profound. Type 30. Self-replicating probe civilizations. The quiet galaxy scenario. For our final type, let's end on one of the most unsettling possibilities. Maybe the galaxy is not full of biological empires. Maybe it is full of self-replicating probes. A civilization could send machines to nearby star systems. Those machines mine local material and build copies. The copies spread further. Over time, exploration scales exponentially. This is often discussed as the von Neumann probe concept. And here's the key idea. You do not need a Type 3 biological civilization to create galaxy-wide presence. A civilization only needs to create autonomous replication and long-term goals. If such probes exist, they may be passive observers, resource surveyors, archivists, or guardians. They may hide. They may be inactive. They may be ancient. And if humanity ever encounters alien technology first, there is a real chance it will be something like this. Not an alien body, but an alien machine. Not a visitor, a messenger, or a monitor, or a warning. And that possibility changes the emotional tone of first contact completely.
Section 5. What contact might actually look like. At this point, we've covered all 30 types. But now let's ask the practical question. If one of these exists, how would we encounter it? Because meeting aliens
probably won't look like a movie scene. Here are the most realistic contact pathways. Contact Scenario 1. Biosignatures. First, bodies later. The first evidence of alien life may be atmospheric. We may detect gases or chemical disequilibria in an exoplanet atmosphere that strongly suggest biology. That would not tell us what the organism looks like, but it would tell us something much bigger. Life is not unique to Earth. This is the most likely first step for many alien types on this list. Contact Scenario 2. Fossils or ancient microbial traces. On Mars or another nearby world, we may find evidence of past life, not present life. Mineral textures, isotopic patterns, or preserved chemical signatures could reveal ancient microbial ecosystems. That would still be revolutionary. Even extinct alien life would prove a second origin of biology. And if life emerged twice in one solar system, Earth and Mars, then life may be common in the universe. Contact Scenario 3. Living microbes in the solar system. This would be the cleanest biological first contact. Not intelligent, not communicating, but alive. A sample return, plume analysis, or subsurface probe could detect living cells. If that happens, contamination protocols, ethics, and planetary protection become central overnight. Because the moment we find alien microbes, we face a new question. Do we study them aggressively, or protect them as a separate branch of life? Contact Scenario 4. A technosignature. For intelligent aliens, the first sign may be indirect: a narrowband signal, laser emission, unusual heat pattern, or megastructure evidence. No face, no ship, just data. And honestly, that may be better. It gives humanity time to verify, debate, and prepare. First contact as an equation, not an invasion. Contact Scenario 5. Artifact contact. A probe, a beacon, a dormant machine. This is one of the most plausible forms of contact with advanced civilizations because artifacts can travel and wait. An alien civilization may be gone, its machines may remain. And an artifact can be designed to communicate safely. Math first, then physics, then language scaffolds. If aliens are cautious, artifact-first contact is rational. Section 6. Risks and opportunities for humanity. Let's be honest. Alien contact is not automatically good. It is not automatically bad. It is context-dependent. So let's close with a balanced view. The opportunities one. Scientific revolution. Even microbial alien life would transform biology. We could compare two origins of life and finally answer which features of life are universal and which are just Earth's local solutions. 2. Philosophical shift. Humanity's self-image would change. Religions, philosophies, and political identities would all adapt to a universe that is not empty. 3. Technological acceleration. A technosignature or artifact might reveal new approaches to energy, communication, or computation, even without giving us advanced technology directly. 4. Civilizational perspective. Knowing other civilizations exist, or existed, could push humanity toward longer-term thinking. We may take planetary stewardship more seriously if we understand we are at an early stage of a cosmic process. The risks 1. Biological contamination. Microbial exchange between worlds could be dangerous in both directions, for us and for alien ecosystems. 2. Cultural destabilization. A confirmed detection could trigger misinformation, panic, ideological conflict, or political exploitation before scientific consensus stabilizes. 3. Strategic miscalculation. If we detect a signal, do we reply? Who decides? On what timeline? With what message? These are not just scientific questions. They are geopolitical and ethical questions. 4. The intelligence gap. If we encounter a civilization far beyond us, the biggest risk may not be hostility. It may be irrelevance. A gap in capability can make mutual understanding extremely difficult. And yes, there is always the darker possibility that some civilizations are predatory, expansionist, or indifferent. But we should avoid one common mistake: assuming danger just because something is alien. Nature teaches us variation, not inevitability. Section 7. The big question. Why haven't we found them yet? This is where the Fermi paradox enters. The galaxy is huge, old, full of stars, likely full of planets. So where is everyone? Maybe life is common, but intelligence is rare. Maybe intelligence is common, but technology is rare. Maybe technology is common, but long-term survival is rare. Maybe advanced civilizations become quiet, hidden, or post-biological. Maybe we are early. Maybe we are late. Maybe we are looking in the wrong way, for the wrong thing, at the wrong time. And maybe the universe is full of life, but mostly microbes. If that turns out to be true, it would still be extraordinary, because it would mean biology is not a miracle that happened once. It would mean the cosmos makes life, perhaps often. So, what kind of aliens are we most likely to encounter? If we follow the science, the answer is probably not humanoids in ships, at least not first. The first aliens we find may be microbes in salt, cells in ice, chemistry in a dark ocean, or atmospheric fingerprints on a distant world. But if civilizations exist, type 1, type 2, maybe even type 3, then somewhere out there, the universe may also contain minds older than nations, older than empires, maybe older than our species itself. And that means the search for aliens is not just about finding them. It is also about understanding what we could become. From fragile Type 0 beginnings to a planetary civilization, and maybe, one day, beyond.